The fact that such artifacts have been preserved to our days in Central Asia and specifically in the Mongol Altai glacial range can be demonstrated through summarizing the findings at the sites such as Aral Hills, Shivet Mountain and Bagagor. The Aral Hill is a beautiful spot of nature located in Tsingalsom of Bayanguli province. Is a home to the many cave artifacts dated to the Paleolithic Middle Stone Age. Although some of the drawings have faded through time and some have been obscured in parts by Lish's fascinating drawn figures continue to attract many scientists. A half-drawn deer is shown on this artifact, where the belly and the hinge are left out while the chest outline is beaten into the rock, complete with the outer trims. Such drawings are seen by researchers to show the wide use of perspective by ancient hunters and painters. Another painting shows a wild goat being shot with the arrow by a hunter. The artifact is masterful in its depiction of the wild goat, a mature male with two full-grown horns fallen with a deadly wound. The pose of the fallen wild goat with its head turned backwards appears to be testament to the artful expression well presented in this artifact. The most ancient of the artifact is a big depiction of a giant ostrich followed by compositions with horses, deer and bull, belonging to the hunters who lived in the Paleolithic and Neolithic and the Bronze Age. The mountain is special in that it houses many thousands of artifacts from the Paleolithic to the Lower Turkic period, all varying in style, method and objects of depiction. It has been estimated that the mountain contains from 5,000 to 6,000 separate depictions and compositions. Among the Shivet artifacts are found animals and birds, as well as the social coexistence of humans expressed in the scenes of animal domestication by humans, as well as the fighting and warring scenes. This artifact depicts a human sitting astride on a bull, followed by a man wearing a bow and arrow. The genders of the depicted people are clearly shown in their headdresses as well as their clothes. A person riding the bull with the reins and leading another bull by the reins is clearly a woman, from the long braided hair, while another person riding the led bull is clearly a man with his boat-shaped head. The custom of women leading the nomadic move is preserved till date in the Altai basin. Some of the rock depictions show men wearing pointed, slightly bent-forward hats that appear to be the same bird beak hats worn by the warrior men of the Hun and later periods. There are big-scale depictions of horses and deer in the Shivet mountain. Such huge depictions of animals disproportionate to the life size are specific to the Mongol Altai artifacts and are not found widely elsewhere. A depiction often found in the cave drawing of Bayanguli province is a picture of two-wheeled war cart drawn by two horses. A carnivorous leopard of the tiger genus inhabits the Altai range till date. There are many depictions of leopards, wild hogs and men in pointed, bent-forward heads, showing a continuous nature of coexistence and interdependence of human with the wildlife. Larger-than-life depictions are showcased, for instance, by this horse on the flat rock that measures 90 centimeters in height and 120 centimeters in length when measured by a ruler of 30 centimeters. Another figure shows a horse-riding man carrying a cudgel, depicted together with a leopard and wild goat, proving that ancient hunters used such weapons beyond the bow and arrow. The bird-beaked deer, usually depicted to be striving for the skies, found on stone slabs, in this time found on the flat surface of the rock in the lying position. Researchers find this artifact fascinating due to its larger-than-life size depiction. The scene is depicting the deer beneath which there are hunters with many dogs. The deer has many arrows sticking out of its back, while there are many more arrows flying by the animal, showing the strong motion in a perfect way. This artifact masterfully shows a scene where a group of hunters, some riding horses and some walking, all armed with spears, cudgels and bows and arrows, surrounds and hunts down a herd of wild goats. Another artifact shows two horses standing facing each other and having their heads on each other's neck, a scene that is intrinsically of the freedom of the Mongolian steppes. Among many artifacts of the Shivet mountain, there is a depiction of lynx-like tall and thin animal with upright ears, long neck and winding thin long tail. Another figure shows a man with the case of bow and arrow slung across his back and riding a horse with what looks like a bell on its neck, perhaps engaged in some hunting practice. An artifact on the flat surface of the rock visible from a great distance depicts a horseman, not very interesting in itself, if not for the fact that the horse has very long and thin legs, probably pointing to the emerging diverse artistic expressions and styles. Interesting it is also the fact the horse is shown with all its gear, including saddle straps, etc. An artifact with the war scene of the Shivet mountain is incredibly fascinating. The scene depicts two men fighting with spears, while a walking man shoots an arrow from a bow. This figure points to the age where the tribal structures gave way to the more complex social organization and the advent of the intertribal rivalries and competition of resources. The Shivet mountain artifacts were created throughout a significant period of time by ancient Mongol Altai people inhabiting these areas from the early Bronze Age to the early Turkic era. It is also to be pointed out the majority of the artifacts concentrated in the fewer areas were created during the Bronze and the early Iron Ages. "70 kilometers northeast from the Shivet mountain in the Ulan-Khosum area lies a valley with two rocky hills, Цагаан Салаа and Баг-Огор. These two hills are incomparably abundant with drawings, etchings, as well as other archaeological treasures such as burial mounds, stone monuments, and worshipping grounds. These also date from Neolithic to the Dark Ages, a testament to the specific culture and religious practice center that developed in this area. The artifacts are found on both the eastern and western banks of the Баг-Ogor River for the distance of 20 kilometers, with some of the artifacts stretching onto the hill that joins the Баг-Ogor Hill in Цагаан Салаа for over 400 meters. The cave drawings are done on the surface of over 2,000 rocks and rocky surface. Each rock has etchings and drawings of 1 up to 800 figures, while the whole area is estimated to house 75 to 100,000 drawings and artifacts. This is unparalleled in the world, where a concentration of such artifacts is found in one small stretch of geographical area. One of the artifacts depicting a deer remains a mystery. A deer is etched into the rock with a smaller deer inside its belly. These ancient drawings often display methods of symbolism, fable, irony, and even comparison and creative imagination. The depiction of a man riding a bull with a wild hog next to it, skillful and lifelike in the presentation of the hog that appears to have gathered its stomach in and portraying an image of the animal ready to either flee or to charge. The cave drawings and etching of the Баг-Ogor are excellent examples of how human domesticated animals for breeding and domestic usage. There are many artifacts showing human taming and training wild horses and cattle and building enclosures and keeping the animals in those enclosures. Among these artifacts are found wild animals as well, such as birds that look like geese and deer calf suckling its mother, all pointing to the definitive division of wild animals versus the domesticated and trained animals. One of such depictions is of a bird of prey, possibly eagle or condor, soaring with its two huge wings outstretched. Another drawing depicts some cattle, each animal individually tied to another with the help of a nose ring, and led by men in front, attesting to the order of domestication of wild animals, where it was first to cattle, not horses, not camels, that was domesticated and served the humans. There are also some bullocks depicted carrying the draught. This drawing depicts the estrus period of wild goats. Another natural law, ecological balance and interdependence of one species on another, is depicted in the picture where a deer is surrounded and hunted by a pack of wolves. Here woman and man are jointly taming and training some horses in its enclosure, pointing to the emergence of household, private property and ownership concepts. Here a horse rider is clearly a man because he's wearing a hat with two ear-like protrusions. Such hats worn by the Mongol hunters were carved until very recently, but they used the parts of the lynx or fox skin, including the ears, to fashion such hats. Abstract camel figures are found at every step among these artifacts, showing the developing artistic expression and methods that had by then mastered various forms and styles of depiction. One of the gems of Tsagan Sala artifacts is a depiction of a woman and man having a sexual intercourse. This is a vivid testament to the ancient artist's human aesthetic deep understanding of life and death, struggle and victory, and the natural law. There are also many artifacts depicting the beauty of nude female shape. A hunter astride a camel and aiming an arrow is found on another rock. A bird that looks like a hawk is flying above him. It is a depiction of how people have tamed and trained birds of prey to assist in their hunting, uses a hawk to hunt geese and ducks. The continuum of the past depicted as such artifact is found in the livelihood methods and customs still carved in the lives of the present nomadic Mongols. Of great interest may be in the animal depicted in one of the artifacts of the Bag yet to be proved to exist by both the Mongol and foreign scientists. A three-fingered Yeti or Bigfoot whose lore across the world continues to fascinate scientists and lay people alike, with many reports of science circulating widely around the world. Like their counterparts, ancient people have also been fascinated by this species and had thus depicted them in the art. The Tsagan Sala cave and rock artifacts are invaluable in the sense that they date to the Neolithic or the Late Stone Age, approximately around 6 to 3,000 years BC, and to the Bronze Age, approximately 3 to 1,000 years BC, the area of humans taming and domesticating animals, moving from hunting and gathering to the classical nomadic animal husbandry. Cave and rock drawings and etching found in the Tambok mountains of the Mongol Altai region and the artifacts found in the vicinity of the Uyghur are not only cultural relics significant in their artistic value, but also through their immense contribution in the form of coded information to the better understanding of human history from the scientific point of view. These artifacts are further testament to the nomadic and step-bound human civilization that strove to reduce the harm of human interference and the principle of living in harmony with the surrounding nature. These are important and unique sites complete with valuable artifacts dating from the Stone Age to the ancient Turkic era, each artifact a witness to and the product of various stages of human evolution. From the early human settlement of the Bronze Age to the Industrial Age, this region has stood as witness to the one and only form of land utilization and human civilization compatible with the surrounding nature, that is classical nomadic animal husbandry. It begs the conclusion that the very lifestyle that supported the nature and earth in this region is now in extremely vulnerable condition.